Hey there, it's Trisha with Easy E-mini Trade, and I just wanted to briefly show you a couple ways that I'm trading 6E. I'm spending most of the time pre-market just because I'm running the room during regular trading hours and not convinced yet that I like the 6E during regular trading hours, but time will tell. So the setups that I like on the 6E pre-market are divergence trades. Those are probably what I take the most pre-market, because generally we wind up in a range with support and resistance holding. And then I can take Slinky setups, and I can also take counter channel setups. I'm going to be going over this in complete detail tomorrow during my webinar, Tuesday the 26th at 7 p.m. So if you want more info about the webinar, just go to my site, easyeminitrade.com, and then just choose the webinar tab at the top, and then all the information's there. So right now I just want to show you briefly all three of these setups from this morning pre-market, and hopefully you'll find it helpful just to give you an idea of what we'll be going over tomorrow. Okay, so what you're looking at is the 6E from this morning, and I didn't do anything back here. I wasn't trading at this time. I was sitting at my computer at this time, but I was having a couple issues getting my orders entered. But regardless, I will go over everything that you're looking at on this chart tomorrow in complete detail, because everything that we need for the three setups that we'll be going over tomorrow are on here. But this is a 200 EMA. This is a 3-tick range chart on my right, and this is an 8-tick range chart here on my left, and this is a 6E, and this is Sierra charts that you're looking at. So I don't really need the 8 range for anything other than using the double stochastic, and usually I don't have the whole chart up. I'm only looking at this lower section with the 2 stochastics, and I'll go over that tomorrow as well. But here this morning you can see price holding this area here at the 200, and it's holding here, and it's holding here, giving us equal lows, and then on my stochastic I get a higher low here. So basically support is holding, and if I wanted to take this as a buy, I could take it above this bar here that I have marked, and then I would be looking at the general area of resistance above me to be hit. So you can see there's not a whole lot of room there. So basically you got a handful of ticks out of it if you bought the bounce off the 200, and then if you held on to it still, let's say waiting for it to hit the floor trader pivot point here in this magenta color, you would have never been stopped out here. You would have had to sit through this trade forever before you actually got back up to this area to exit, or even here if you want to get out at break even. So just a handful of ticks on that. But here we have this area of resistance that had been holding. If you look to the left here, you can see it holding, 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 holding. So here it comes up. Then as it comes up to that area again, it holds. So now this area is now holding again. Looking at my stochastic, you can see I have a slightly lower low, a lower high here than here. So here are equal highs on price. This will be a lower high here than here. I did a bad job drawing my line there. There we go. So that would give me a heads up that price is probably going to pull back. So I could get in under this bar here. What I'm waiting for, and I'm going to go over this in complete detail tomorrow, I promise, but what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for the stochastic to get below 80 here, and then I get in under the bar that gives me that. Then taking this as an entry, you have to be aware that this area over here had been holding, right? So if you take this as a short, you have to just have a conversation with yourself. Okay, if I take this trade, is there enough room for me to be profitable if price has a difficult time getting through that area of support? If the answer is yes, then you take it. If the answer is no, then you wait for it to break through, and then you take your entry. So either way, if you took it, you got a handful of ticks if you exited right here around support, or if you held on waiting for it to get through support, you were able to capitalize on the move lower finally through support. Now, if you didn't take this entry as a divergence trade setup, you had an opportunity to take a Slinky setup, which is right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have everything I do on this entry chart show up over here on this 8 range chart. So let me just do that real quick. There we go. So right here where I've got this marked as a Slinky, it's a valid setup. You can see the purple line here where I've got it marked. This is where it would have been setting up on the 8 range at that time. And so for the Slinky, using the filter, the 8 range as a filter, this is in line to take a short. So you take the short. Now on the 6E, I will tell you I am cautious about support resistance areas. So chances are I probably would have passed on this one, but possibly a breakdown under this area would have been more in line with what I would have wanted to do. The other option is if you didn't take this entry and you didn't take this entry because you wanted to see how it was going to get through this support area, is you could take a counter channel continuation setup, and that would have occurred right here under that bar. And again, not great because it's right into the 50% retracement area here, right where you're getting some divergence. But regardless, it's a setup. But when taking them on the 6E pre-market, I am very aware of how much room I have. I'm still willing to take the trade, but instead of waiting for 12 ticks, maybe I only get 8, maybe I only get 6. Sometimes you just got to take what you can get. Then let's say that you're in this trade as you're coming down to support, you can see that you're getting some divergence. We've got lower lows in price, higher lows on the stochastic, so that's giving us a heads up that price is probably going to bounce here. And I wouldn't be willing to buy the bounce because I have to assume that this area is going to have some difficulty getting through just because it had been holding here and holding here, holding here, and it was having some difficulty moving higher. Eventually it did once we got our cash market open, but there really wasn't anything for me to want to do bouncing off this area. And like I said, I don't really look at this during regular trading hours, but I want to show you this real quick. You can see that you are establishing resistance up here once the market opened. You can see the swing high here, then it comes up here and it holds again. Now, I wouldn't have been willing to short that because I don't really have great divergence here in that area. It looks like it might be equal highs here. But here, I would like this, and I wasn't trading it, but it's a good example. You can see it tries to bust through resistance and it fails. I love those the best, or when it tries to bust through support and it fails. Now it gives us some divergence because we've got higher high here than here at resistance, while on our stochastic we have a lower high here than here. So this would be the bar that I get in under based on that's the bar that's forming when that stochastic crosses below 80. Now, taking this, I would be aware of this area here. It's the previous day's close because it held right here. And then the next area would be the vicinity right below at the 50% if it gets through here. And then the next area would be the next area of support, which would be over here. So I'm always looking to the left to see where price last got hung up on support or resistance. And mainly you need to do that when price doesn't have a strong direction going or a strong trend. So mainly when you're going sideways, you're going to want to be aware of those areas. When you have a strong trend or strong trending move, it's not really too much that you have to worry about, but we know most days we do have periods of chop. So there are lots of different ways that we can take trades, even in chop. So I hope that helps, and tomorrow I promise I will give you the settings on the ADX and DMI, the stochastic, the super trend stop for the Slinky, and the counter channel for the counter channel continuation setup, and also I will show you how to set up your filter chart for the Slinky as well. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can certainly send me an email. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.